Let's get Sidaram Industries Limited, a registered entity under GST in the state of Karnataka, is engaged in manufacture and supply of both taxable and exempted goods and services. Following information for the month of October 2023 is provided by it. Number 1. Outward supplies, they have given, sold an old warehouse building in the state of Karnataka to retail giant in the same state. Supplied 30 laptops over the counter to Mr. Sudhakar, an unregistered buyer. He took it to his residence in Haryana. Invoice issued to him mentions only his name and the state. However, his complete address of Haryana is missing in the invoice. That's okay. If you have name and the state, you have an amendment called as section 10 subsection 1 clause CA that is introduced. Okay, for the over-the-counter purchases, that's what they're testing here. Special boxes for packing of the laptop, which is 1,30,000. Okay, so we know that it also needs to be added to the value, right? Provided direct selling agent services to Kumkum Bank registered in Karnataka, DSA. We discussed about RCM somewhere. Okay, we'll have to see whether it's RCM or not. Provided pure labor service pertaining to a single residential unit in Mumbai, Maharashtra, otherwise than part of residential complex for erection and installation of renovation work for client registered in Maharashtra, 6,20,000. Provided free of cost to training in a resort in Puducherry to its agents based in the state of Karnataka on effective use of product of the company. What is that they did? Free of cost training service to an agent. Para 3. We'll have to analyze that there. Okay, so I've told you that in one of those discussions, but we'll discuss. Open market of the set open market value of the said service is 1 lakh. Value of supply of services of like kind and quality is 1,20,000. Interest received on fixed deposit from Sulakshan Bank registered in Karnataka is 2 lakh. They have inward supply. Received debit note in respect of inward intrastate supplies received in financial year 2020-2021 for the quantity differences as agreed. Okay, so received debit note in respect of inward intrastate taxable supplies received in financial year 2020-2021 for quantity differences as agreed. These inward supplies were used for all goods manufactured in the factory. Date of debit note is 16th October 2023, 4 lakh. Solar panels installed in the factory for providing electricity to be used in the factory. Okay, solar panel they are fixing on an immobile property. Then purchased employee uniforms for 1,000 employees interstate. Uniforms worth 3 lakh were necessary to ensure safety of the workers while carrying out the manufacturing activity. Remaining uniforms worth 4 lakh were sometimes worn by the employees outside the factory for personal purposes. Okay, so can you take ITC on the personal purpose one? That's the question. Then company provided the following additional information. In respect of sale of old warehouse building, stamp duty was paid on 32 lakh. The company provided corporate guarantee. Yeah, 2 crore to Lakshmi Logistic Limited, another company. Its related company having registered office for the loan availed by the latter from Jandhan Bank, Karnataka. The accountant of the company did not claim input tax credit in respect of debit note received for the reason that original purchase relating to earlier years for the which ITC eligibility was over. We will have to understand 16.4 there. Rate of CGST, SGST, IGST is 9, 9, 18% respectively for inward and outward supplies of goods and services except special packing boxes for which applicable rate is 6, 6 and 12 respectively. All the amounts given are exclusive of taxes wherever applicable. From the information given above, you are required to compute eligible ITC available for set-off and minimum net GST payable in cash, CGST, SGST, IGST as the case may be, for the month of October 2023. Provide brief reason for treatment of each item. Shall we start working out? Okay. This one we will do together. Okay. So we'll work out like a proper answer. So we'll get all the computation done. They are asking you net GST to be paid by cash. Any net GST payable question or workout should be like this. Question number is, what was the question number in RTP? Any net GST computation question, we should start with computation of minimum GST payable by cash. For Sitaram Industries Limited. Particulars, value, CGST, SGST, IGST. For this, which month they are asking us to compute this? October 2023. We will write that also on the heading so that we will be able to identify it separate. In that, first I am computing part A, which is computation of outward tax liability. We will take out outward supplies and then compute what is my outward tax liability. So we will do it in a 3-step process. First, consolidate your outward tax liability, consolidate your ITC eligible, then do the set off as specified in the law. Let's look at what are the cases. First one, sold an old warehouse building in the state of Karnataka. Sale of building, would it be a supply? Not a supply. We will write and then write a working note, okay. Point number 1. Value was 30 lakhs. No GST because it's not a supply. We should write schedule 3 para 5. It is not a supply. I am not writing the working note here. You should ideally write a detailed working note either inside the particulars column or separate. Put it as working note reference 1 and then write the whole thing. Okay, so you can always look at the answer and then look at the working notes later. Second, supplied 30 laptops over the counter to Mr. Sudhakar, an unregistered buyer who took it to his residence in Haryana. Okay. Then there is packing of the laptop. Now, first question that we should ask is it an outward supply? Yes. Is it taxable? Yes. What is the place of supply for this? What is the location of Sitaram? Karnataka. What will be the place of supply? Here place of supply would be Haryana. Why? There is a new provision which says like this. Section 10 subsection 1 clause CA newly introduced. What it says? Goods purchased over the counter in one state transported to another state by the buyer. Say a person who is visiting Chennai from Kerala went to Adyar Ananda Bhavan, purchased a bunch of sweets and things like that. And I told Adyar Ananda Bhavan, see, I belong to Kerala, I'm going to take it while I'm traveling back. Earlier, there was no option for Adyar Ananda Bhavan to bill it IGST because for them it becomes a CGST, SGST bill only. Now, the provision is amended. Now, what I can do, I can put my details of the state. When I say details of the state, PIN number and the state name would suffice. If I put that across, then the place of supply would be location as per the address of the said person in the invoice. If available. If I don't give any details in the invoices as my address, then Adyar Ananda Bhavan in Chennai would bill it as place of supply in Chennai itself. If not, it will be the location of supplier. Is it? If there is over the counter, OTC, over the counter purchases by an unregistered person carrying it to his home state, place of supply would be the address mentioned in the invoices. Okay, so full address is not required, PIN number and the state name is enough. So here what name they would have mentioned? Haryana. So place of supply would become Haryana. So it will be what supply? Interstate supply, IGST. Then should I add this packing special boxes also into the supply? Yes. You can either call it as an incidental expense or call it as a composite supply. Packing would also be part of the supply of laptop. So how much will be the value? 12 plus 1,30,000, which is 13,30,000. What will be the GST rate that will be applicable? It will be the GST rate of the laptop. What is the GST rate of the laptop? 9, 9 and 18. Special packing? It will be a composite supply. So special packing also would be taxed at, yeah, that's what they are trying to test you with the special packing. Understanding? It's a composite supply. Sale of laptops. First provision that we are trying to address is place of supply is Haryana because of section 10 subsection 1 CA IGST. Second, it's a composite supply, packing included. So what will be the value? 13 lakh 10,000, right? 30,000, sorry. Into IGST. How much will be that? 18%. 2,39,400. With me? Then next. Provided direct selling agent services to Kumkum Bank. What is that we have learned about direct selling agent services for RCM? Is it a conditional RCM or a general RCM? It's a conditional RCM. We said it should be an individual direct selling agent providing services to a banking company, financial institution, including NBFC located in taxable territory would be taxed under RCM. Who's the direct selling agent here? Sitaram Industries Limited. Is it the body corporate? Yes. Would it be taxed under RCM? No, it would be taxed under FCM itself. What is the location of the recipient? Karnataka. What is the location of supplier? Karnataka. What is the place of supply? Karnataka itself. So what will supply would be intra-state supply, CGST, SGST. Direct selling agent. It is FCM because not an individual. It's an intra-state supply. Value is 4 lakh. CGST 36,000. SGST is 36,000. Clear? Next. Pure labor services. There's an exemption for this. What is the exemption available for pure labor services? Let's try to understand the exemption also. Look at this point here. Pure labor contract for construction, erection, commissioning or installation of original work pertaining to single residential unit otherwise than part of residential complex is exempt, but the exemption does not include repair and renovations. Repair and renovation would be taxable. So if you give a pure labor contract for repair of a single residential unit, renovation of a single residential unit is taxable. Now let's go back to the cases. Provided pure labor services pertaining to single residential unit in Mumbai, Maharashtra, otherwise than part of residential complex for erection and installation of renovation work of client registered in Maharashtra. What is it? It is for renovation work. Would it be exempted? No. This would be taxable. Repair and renovation would be taxable. Yeah. Only what is exempted? Only that which is pure labor contract for construction, new work, not the repair renovation. Erection, commissioning, etc. for original work, new work. That's the understanding. Okay, repair is exempted only for Housing for All Urban Mission and Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana payments. So the repair is not exempted in this. Same is the treatment for renovation also. So this would be taxable. Is it intrastate or interstate? It is interstate because it's in Mumbai, Maharashtra. 6,20,000. Pure labor contract. Bracket, it is interstate. Renovation is taxable. You will write the respective working note in detail, okay? How much will be the IGST? Can you tell me the IGST amount? 18% on 6,20,000. 1,11,600. Then look at this. Provided free of cost training to in a resort in Puducherry to its agent based in the state of Karnataka on effective use of the product of the company. Open market value of the said service is 1 lakh. Value of such a service of like kind and quality is 1,20,000. What is it? They are providing. This guy is a principal. They are providing services to agent. Question number 1. Is it free? Yes. Is it a para 3? 8. Is this a case of a para 3? No. Para 3 only talks about goods. Yesterday I told you that again. Para 3 will talk only about supply of goods between principal and agent. Supply of service between principal and agent is not considered in para 3. Are you guys with me? We have training services, which is a service. Service I provide free to my agent. Would it be coming under para 3? No, only if I give goods to my agent. Para 3 says supply of goods between principal and agent is a supply even without consideration. So this would not even become a supply. There are multiple examinations, they have put the same point. Multiple exam. Okay. They are not bored by the point. Training services to agent. Supply of service not covered under para 3. To have services taxable, the service should be with what? Consideration. That's the idea. Goods without consideration is also a supply. We will assume that this fellow is a para 3 agent. Understand it? Then we will take what? Which rule we will apply if it's goods? Rule 29. We will go to open market value, then take 90% of further supply value at the option, or rule 30-31. Not sole agent, sole distributor. That's a related person discussion. Okay. Sole agent is an agent only. As long as you have an agency. Then also it's an agent only. Whenever he is a sole distributor, which is not an agency contract, sole concessionaire who can decide on the discount, then they will become a related person. That's the only idea. Okay. What was the amount? All nil. It is not a supply. Then interest received on fixed deposit from Selection Bank registered in Karnataka, 2 lakh. Is it a supply? Yes, but is it a taxable supply or exempt supply? Exempt supply. Both are different. Okay, interest, it's a supply, but exempted services. Accepting deposit or extending loans or advances insofar as the consideration is represented by way of interest or discount is an exempt service by notification 12/2017. We divided the two interest. Remember, interest on loan is exempt. It's a supply because there's a separate consideration. It's an exempt service. Interest on loan 2 lakh. Yeah, any interest. Interest on fixed deposit. What was the amount? 2 lakh, right? Is there any other outward supply? No, all are inward supplies. Okay, there is one guarantee given. That's an outward supply. Okay, this is outward. Okay, so they have given after everything there is one more outward supply they have given for you to miss out. How much will be the value? Corporate guarantee 2 crore into 1%. Is it an intrastate supply or interstate supply? It's an intrastate supply. This is an exempt service. Notification 12/2017. Corporate guarantee. How do you get? Rule 28 sub rule 2, 1% of 2 crores. There is no amount declared, so that we will take as the value, which is 2 lakh 18,000. What is the total of outward tax liability? 50. Nothing else. 1,11,600. Answer for the first part of the question. Let's cross check our answer. it's not, I think we totaled it wrong. There is one 239,400. This is not something we have not totaled. How much will be that? There is one more IGST, 3 lakh 51,000. That's the correct answer. Okay. We should also total correctly. Okay. Nobody can help us if we total it wrong. With me? If it's a 10-mark question, this itself would carry like half of the marks. So getting this. It is not very complicated, right? So far it's good. With me? Okay. So now what is the part B of this computation? ITC. Computation of ITC eligible. What do I have an opening credit? Nothing. Okay, I don't have an opening credit. Now look at this. I have had purchases for which original invoice was issued in 2020-21. ITC can be taken on or before 30th of November next financial year only, right? Should I consider the same time limit for debit note also? No. Debit note time limit 16 subsection 4. Okay, I'll show you the provision also there. Your 16 subsection 4. So look at this. I've written a note separately for that. The time limit for claiming ITC is this. It is earlier of 30th November next financial year or date of filing annual return, whichever is earliest or earlier. For an invoice, say for an invoice belonging to 2020-21, the last date to take credit would be maximum 30th November 2021. But debit note invoices is not based on the original invoice date. It is based on what date? Debit note date itself. So if debit note comes in this year, I can take the credit next year, 30th November till then. Understanding? So written debit note date considered was corresponding invoice date. Now debit note time limit is based on what date? Debit note date itself. So should I disallow this credit? No, this can be allowed as credit for me. But we'll have to look at is there any problem with it. Then solar panel installed in the factory. Can I take ITC of this? No, this would be solar panel. We will consider this to be an immovable property. Okay. Unless it's like a portable solar panel or something. The solar panel installed means you're bringing in immovable property. So immovable property, you will not be able to take any ITC. Which section would come? 17(5)(d). Inward supply for construction of immovable property is a blocked credit. This is the provision that we are applying. Inward supply of goods or services for on construction of immovable property is a blocked credit. Understanding? Okay. So anything that is attached to your factory building will not be treated as plant and machinery. So plant and machinery, there's a exception, you can take credit, but this is not a plant and machinery, will disallow the credit. Okay, I won't take credit of this. Then purchased employee uniforms for 1,000 employees. Out of that only 3 lakh is used for business. This 4 lakh is personal. Will I be able to take credit on this? No. So that will be the ITC that I have. Now the accountant of the company did not claim input tax credit in respect of debit note received for reasons that original purchase related to earlier years. That is not relevant because 16(4) has been correctly put it across. Okay, let's see the ITC. ITC on debit note. 4 lakh. Is it an intrastate or an interstate? The inward supplies? It is intrastate. So what GST would have been there? CGST, SGST. What would be the rate? What will be the amount? 36,000. 36,000. Second, okay, we'll write the reason also here. 16.4 time limit is based on debit note date, not invoice date. You cannot write like this, you should write it elaborate, then only that full marks will come. Second, solar panel. I'm blocking it. Blocked under 17.5T. What is the value? Value is 5 lakh. So an assumption that we are making, it is not a portable, it's an part of an immovable property, is an assumption that we are making there. Installed is the word that we are using for it. Now purchase of uniforms. How much is the credit that I can take? Only 3 lakh. Is it intrastate? No, they said it is interstate. Only 3 lakh I can take credit. How much will be that? 54,000. Total would be 36,000, 36,000, 54,000. Now very important addition here. I am using this ITC to make outward supply of what and what? Outward supply of sale of building also. Look at my outward supply. My outward supply has a sale of building. My outward supply has a supply wherein I am not allowed to take ITC. Right? Which means that out of this all ITC, now I said I have, these are common credits. I need to do an apportionment. Understanding? Because there is sale of building for which I am not paying taxes. Now let's look at how do I do the apportionment. What is the formula for apportionment? I have what inward supply? I have inward supply of inputs and input service. If I have inward supply of inputs and input service which I am using for both taxable as well as exempted, I should reverse the credit attributable to exempt supply. What is exempt supply? Exempt supply is defined under section 17(3). There is a term called E. Whatever is included in the term E divided by the total turnover will be the ratio in which I will reverse my credit. Now what is included in E? I will look at that for you. Shall we? This is a very important definition that you should look at. If they are testing, they will test you from that. That might look like a complicated question for some of them. Once you get full grip on E, it will become super easy for you. I've given a chart for you to understand E. This is the computation of term E in rule. Okay, take a photo or whatever you want to do. This is what you should keep it with you. Whatever is included in E means what? You have to reverse that much of credit. Whatever is excluded from E means you are allowed to take credit that much. You don't have to reverse it. What are the things included in E? Let's look at what is included in E. Exempt supply under section 2. Exempt supply under section 2 has 3 supplies. One is nil rate supply, wholly exempt supply, non-taxable supply. Outward supply for which a tax is payable under RCM is also a supply which we will include under E, which means that you can't take ITC when you make an outward supply which is taxed under RCM. With me? Okay. 2. 3. Transaction in securities. If you are somebody who is having transaction in securities, you should take 1% of that security value to be under E. Here in this question, no transaction security. But if you have sale of land and sale of building, then stamp duty value will be considered to be part of E. Do you have sale of land and building? Yes. That's why I'm taking this here. Then, if there is warehouse sale under section 8A of schedule 3, that will also be even in case of your negative list, generally negative list item, except for warehouse sale and stamp duty value of sale of land and building, nothing is included in E. Only two things. One is warehouse sale, another one is stamp duty value of sale of land and building. These two are included in E, which means that you have to reverse ITC. What is not included? 1. Interest or discount income. We have interest in this case. Should I include it in E as an exempt supply? No. Even though it is exempted, interest will be part of E only for banking company. So which means I'm a trader, I have interest income in my other income as well as my taxable income. Should I reverse corresponding ITC? No need. That's understanding. But if it's a bank who has interest income and charge income, they need to reverse. Then, value of transportation services by vessel from a place of custom station in India to a place outside India. Okay. This particular thing used to be exempted till 30th of September 2022. Now it's not even relevant, like, it's taxable. So anyway, it will not be part of E. Then VAT, excise duty, CST, any taxes. Say for example, you are somebody who is running a petrol pump, which is having exempt supply as non-taxable, also VAT. So when you take exempt supply, you only take value, not the taxes that you can exclude. Then schedule 3 item other than sale of land and building and 8A warehouse sale. Except these two, whatever item you have in schedule 3 will not be part of E. Then value of supply of duty credit scrips. Okay, any duty credit scripts that you have received will be your income but will not be part of E. In our cases, now let's look at what is E. Computation of E. What is E in our question? Let's try it. We need to have a separate working note, but I'm just going to add it here itself. I'm going to ask you a question, part of E or not. Is the first one part of E? Yes, but will I take 30 or stamp duty value? I should take stamp duty value. What is stamp duty value in our question? There is some information given. They said, in respect of sale of old warehouse building, stamp duty value is 32 lakhs. If they give you something like this in the question, they're hinting you to do a apportionment. So how much you should take it as the stamp duty value? 32 lakhs would be part of E. Laptop sale? No. Direct selling agent? No. Pure labor contract? No. It's all taxable. Training services? Not even a supply. Should I add it to the E? No. Then interest on fixed deposit? Should I add it to part of E? No. Why it is not included in E? Because E definition excludes interest except for banks. So we will not include it there. Corporate guarantee? No. These are all taxable, no? So what is E? 32 lakh. What is total turnover? 32. What is total turnover? In total turnover, should I include 30 or 32? Now I should include 32, right? Because whatever I have taken as E plus whatever you have it as other taxable turnover will become part of F. Okay, that is your total turnover. What is F for you? 32 plus 13 lakh 30,000 plus 4 lakh plus 6 lakh 20,000 plus 2 lakh plus 2 lakh. How much? Can someone also confirm that? 50? 9 lakh? 50,000. Okay. Can you just recompute? I think maybe some 2 lakh is missed out. How much do you get? So ITC attributable to, I have to reduce the ITC attributable to exam supply. For that, E divided by F. E is equal to 32 lakh. That is stamp duty value of land. F is equal to 32 plus, can you tell me the amounts once again? 13 lakh 30,000 plus 4 lakh plus 6 lakh 20,000 plus 2 plus 2, right? How much you get? 59 lakh 50,000. So what will be the ratio? 32 divided by 59.5. What is the ratio that you get? E divided by F would be 32 lakhs divided by 59.5. So 36,000 multiply with 32 into 59.5. How much will be that? How much you have to reverse? In each one you have to reverse this much. How much? Oh, okay. Now I'm asking you to apply 53.78%. This needs to be reversed. How much will be that? Can you tell me the amount? We'll look at the answer also to see if that ratio is correct. How much needs to be reversed? Okay, it's correct. Okay. 19,361 you get? In bracket you will get 19,361. In bracket 19,361. In bracket how much? 29,041. Okay. Net ITC available. How much will be the net ITC available? $24,049. No. 24,951. That's correct. Then 16 640 639, right? 16 639. This would be the net ITC. Then part C. Computation of net GST payable. How much is the net GST payable? Part A, outward tax liability. How much was our liabilities? We'll rewrite the liability now. 351. First ITC of IGST 24,951. ITC of CGST SGST 16 639. 16,639. Net GST payable would be how much? 37,361. 37,361. 3 lakh 041. This is the answer you've got. 37,361, 37,361, 326, 041 or 042. Okay. Understanding? Clear? Okay. So you need to have working notes for all of this, okay? So ideally this attributable to exam supply should have been a separate working note explanation. How did you compute E? How did you compute F? You need to have some text on that. Because this could not be like this simple a question. Would be asked for like 10, 14 marks kind of a. It's clear, right? How we compute. What are the combinations of this which could be different? What if one of these purchases were capital goods? I'm asking one of the common credits that we have. Now we have common credits of inputs and input services. We have uniform, which is again inputs, and debit note we assume for inputs. What if one of these were purchase of a machinery, but solar, instead of solar some machine was purchased? Then that also needs to be reversed. But when before reversing, common credit will be divided with 60. Then you do the reversal, because you don't do entire reversal in this month, you reverse it over the 60 months. Okay, that will be the reversal. So you won't do E divided by F on the entire amount that like we have done for 36,000, that multiply with. So you have to have two separate. You cannot do this computation here itself. You need to separate it. You need to have a separate computation for inputs credit, separate computation for capital goods credit. Okay, then. These are inputs because they have said quantity differences agreed and all that. Okay. It is used for inward supplies, used for goods manufactured in the factory. It's inputs. Again, uniforms is input. So we just keep it as. Which rule are we applying now? Rule 42 is what we have applied, not 43. Rule 43, then we would have divided, spread it over 60 months. Next. The question on winning in money games. Okay, so let's look at a question. Shall we? Okay. 31, capital B. Yeah, so B is what they are testing here. Fortune 365 is an online money gaming platform operating from UAE. Okay, so which means that they are not Indian online money gamer. They are outside India. 14A is coming in. Okay, then it provides its users a platform to play and win money in different games that are available on its portal. In the month of December, player A, an unregistered person located in India, deposited an amount of 10,000 but inclusive of GST. Okay. In the master wallet available on the portal of Fortune 365. Subsequently, following transactions were undertaken by the player A in the said month. Player A utilized the amount of 2,000 for the master wallet towards playing virtual racing game on the portal. As a winning amount, 10,000 was credited to the master wallet of player A. On another portal used by Fortune 365, in the name of Bet 180, Player A placed a bet of face value of 11,000 on an international wrestling match. The amount of such a bet was paid by master wallet of player A. However, face value bet, that is 31A. Okay, betting they have put in. He lost the bet, hence the bet amount 11,000 with the applicable taxes was transferred from the master wallet to the bank account of bet 180. Okay, then player A transferred balance amount from the master wallet his bank account after the aforesaid transaction. Assume all the above transactions are to be exclusive for GST, exclusive of GST unless otherwise specified. Only in one cases they have said it's inclusive, which is 10,000 deposited. Okay, then player A transferred the balance amount from the master wallet to his bank account after the aforesaid transaction. Assume all the above transactions are to be exclusive of GST unless otherwise specified. Rate of GST applicable is 28%. Ignore the bifurcation. Based on the information provided above, answer the following question providing brief reasons. First one, compute total GST payable on the aforesaid given transactions. Determine the net amount transferred by player A to his bank account after aforesaid transactions. Ascertain whether Fortune 365 is required to obtain registration under GST in India. Will your answer be different if player A is registered under GST in India? Okay, let's look at first one. Now, what are the transactions they have? Okay, first one, on the 10,000 amount inclusive of GST, how much would be the GST applicable is the question. Because they have said inclusive of GST, how much will be the value for this 10,000? 10,000 multiply with 100 divided by, what is the tax rate for online money games? 28%. How much will be the value? 7812.5. Okay, so let's 0.4 something, or let's round it off. 0.5. Okay. Okay, let's keep a decimal then. How much will be the GST then? How much? 21. Okay, this is the GST. Then he has actually had how much amount he used? 2,000 rupees was used from the master wallet. Okay, now let's try to create a master wallet itself. That will be much more easier, right? So let's create a master wallet account. Okay. Receipt, payment. How much will be the deposit? First deposit 10,000. To the master wallet 10,000 came. First, what would have gone? GST would have gone. How much? 2187.5 would have been gone. Out of that, how much he has actually utilized for participating? 2,000. Okay. Racing game. $2,000. And how much he won? He won 10,000. Do you want to do a running balance also to understand how is this position? Then the balance would have been 7812.5, right? Is running balance after GST. Then 2000 was gone, so 5812.5. Here was 1, so it is 15812.50. Winning. Now he's again going for what? Another betting. How much money would have been gone for betting? 11,000. If you do put money for betting, what is the value? Face value of the bet amount. It is not online money game. So GST would be, because they did not say inclusive of GST, GST would be applied on what amount? 11,000. So GST would be 11,000 into 28%. How much will be that? 203080. That's it. Correct. How much is the running balance? This would have been 4812.50. Right? After 11,000 is gone. 3810 is gone. What is this balance? 1000. 4812.50 minus minus 3080. How much? 32.5. This would have been his balance. Correct? Okay. So one is online money game. So how much is the GST paid by him in this? This is paid under which section, which rule? 31B. Then there is a 3080 paid. This is paid under which rule? 31A, betting on the face value. Okay. So how much is the total GST? 5,000. This would be the GST amount. Okay. Correct. Because both of these are different transactions in actionable claim. Correct. If this wallet was deposited into an online money game, it would not have been taxable, because 31B and 31C has this provision wherein they are saying that if you redeposit, whatever you winning will not be considered to be taxable. But that is not applicable for 31A. So that's why we are not doing that here. Understanding? Yes. Okay. I'll show you the provision that I've shown you yesterday. So this has online money game and casinos only has that provision wherein no deduction on the unused amount, no taxes payable when you reinvest. That is there only for 31B and 31C. But betting comes under what? 31A sub rule 2. That it says 100% of the face value or the amount paid. So we are taking it like that. With me? You can write it here also. I can add that also. with me? Okay. Then let's look at the question there. So the question number 1, compute the total GST payable. We have computed that. Question number 2, determine the net amount transferred to the player A to his bank account after above said transaction. How much you can transfer? 1732.5. Let's cross confirm whether these are correct. Value of money, online money gaming would be 10,000 inclusive of GST, means 7,812.5. They rounded it off, I guess. So 2188 is what they have taken. They round it off. We have taken 2187.5, right? Then 3080 is something that we have taken for online betting, 100% of the face value, 31A. So total is 5268. Okay. We got 5267.5, right? Then balance to be transferred is 1732. Correct? Okay. Now then there is third question. Let's try to answer that. Ascertain whether Fortune 365 is required to obtain registration under GST in India. Will your answer be different if player A is registered under GST in India? Are they required to take registration? Yes. If you remember the amendment we had discussed, we discussed about online money gaming from outside India, right? We've said online money gaming from outside India, supplier located in non-taxable territory, 14A, they have to take compulsory registration. Would your answer be different if they provide services to a registered person? No. Even see, that is only there for OIDAR. They said OIDAR compulsory registration is OIDAR providing services to a unregistered online recipient. But online money game, every online money game supplier from outside India will have compulsory registration. That's how the provision has been drafted. So here it will be registration compulsory, section 24. Okay. Will not be taxable. Tax will not come. No, withdrawal will only be covered under income tax. When will tax will come? After I withdraw, I redeposit. Then will tax will come. So now what is paid? What is Dream 11 doing? Same only. You deposit 100 today. Dream 11 takes it as including GST, do an inclusive computation, do the value and do the taxes. Then what they do, whatever you pay as GST, they will give you as a bonus. So you deposited, in your wallet you see only 100. That's why Dream 11 is not losing any, their growth is still continuing. Because they are managing it in the betting, the winning they have reduced now. Nobody knows. If I put 100, in the past also I'll get 100 in my wallet. If I put 100, today also I'll get 100 in my wallet. But there's a transaction history wherein they are showing now how much is value, how much is the money value that you have, how much is the GST you paid. Okay, they'll give you bonus. That's a very common practice to manipulate this. Otherwise people will understand, no, I deposit 100. Why would I be ready if somebody is giving me only like say 72 rupees? I will not be happy with it now. So they are actually planning it properly and they'll give you a bonus and make it 100 itself. But they will manage in their revenue stream. Bindusar commences the business of supplying taxable goods locally within the state of Rajasthan in April. He is not yet registered under GST. His aggregate turnover reaches 8 lakh by end of the month of June. Bindusar starts exploring option to sell the goods supplied by him within Rajasthan on a popular electronic commerce platform, eVastu Store, by listing the goods on the said platform. He approaches you to advise the following issues in this regard. I taught you this yesterday in registration. You remember? Persons applying through e-commerce operator, are they required to take compulsory registration now? No. What is that e-commerce operator has to do? Restrict them from doing interstate supply. There's a bunch of conditions that they have put in. They need to obtain a PAN, they need to have an enrollment number, things like that. Okay, that's what they're asking here. Bindusa wishes to continue his business without registering under GST since it will enhance compliance burden under GST law. Can he supply the goods through e-Vastu store without obtaining GST registration? You are required to advise him. Can they do that? Yes, they can. Okay. They need to have an enrollment number, they should not be making any interstate supply and all that. Discuss the GST implication in case Bindusa supplies goods through electronic commerce operator platform e-Vastu store. Now think from e-Vastu store. Should an e-commerce operator do TCS if an unregistered supplier supply through them? No, because if they do TCS, to whose GST number they'll deposit? They don't have a provision for TCS. But do they have to mention these details in the GSTR 8 they file? Yes, that's a provision that they are asking you to check there. A Limited is registered under GST in Rajasthan, Delhi, Haryana and Punjab. Due to closure of business activities in Rajasthan with effect from 31st May 2023, A Limited filed an application for cancellation of registration before the jurisdictional tax authorities of Rajasthan. Application for cancellation of registration was filed on June 30, 2023. Registration was suspended with immediate effect from June 30, 2023 by the jurisdictional tax authority. Final order for cancellation dated July 31, 2023. You are required to advise A Limited regarding last date of filing final return by it in Rajasthan. What is final return form? Form. GSTR 10, final return. Okay. When should you file final return? What is the due date of filing final return? It says it is 3 months from, I'll give you a tip here also. Date of cancellation order or date on which cancellation is effective, whichever is later. Now, GSTR 10, final return. Every registered person whose registration has been surrendered or cancelled is required to file final return in form GSTR 10. Due date is 3 months from date of cancellation or order of cancellation, whichever is later. You remember like this. Any cancellation time limit comes in, we will take whichever is later throughout. Everything else is whichever is earlier. But cancellation alone, if you don't remember also, take whichever is later. So in this case, what is the order of cancellation date? What is the order of cancellation date? July 31st, 3 months. August, September, October. So 31st October would be the due date of GSTR 10, final return. With me? Further, A Limited was also registered as input service distributor in Rajasthan. Said registration was cancelled with effect from June 30 with an order dated July 31. Advise whether final return is required to be filed upon cancellation of ISD registration by A Limited. If yes, what is the due date of filing the said final return? No, you don't have a final return for ISD registration. Final return is applicable only for those registration where you file GSTR 3B. There's a provision like that. Those registration which files the return under section 39, that only will go and file a final return. That's where you will have to have the stocks, you have all the reversal and everything. So ISD registration cancellation does not require final return. That is what they wanted you to answer here. then. This is a clarificatory circular they are trying to clarify. That the question is on a clarificatory circular. On supply chapter, there's no place of supply chapter. You have a clarificatory circular. That's what they're trying to answer. Shall I read and then get you the understanding? Okay. Zebrex, registered in Delhi, enters into a contract with Shine Limited, an advertising company located and registered in Gurugram, Haryana, to arrange display of advertisement of Zebrex newly launched product on hoardings placed in Marine Drive, Mumbai, Maharashtra for initial 3 months of the launch of the product. Shine Limited in turn enters into a contract with owner of Seaside Hotel located and registered in Marine Drive, Mumbai, Maharashtra for display of advertisement on hoarding placed in the lawn of the hotel. What will be the place of supply provided in given case? How many supplies are here? 2 supplies. What is the first supply? Between whom and whom? Zebrex, registered in Delhi, asking Shine Limited to put an advertisement. Okay. Newly launched product, they wanted somewhere in Marine Drive an advertisement. For how many months? 3 months to launch the product. Now, who's having contract with the owner of this hoardings? Shine Limited is having a contract with the owner of the hoardings. Okay. Seaside Hotel. We'll try to understand that. What is the location of the final advertisement company? The company which is doing the advertisement for? That is Delhi. Supplier Shine Limited is where? Gurugram, Haryana. What is the location of Seaside Hotel? Maharashtra, Mumbai. What is the place of supply? 2 supplies. Supply number 1, Shine Limited to Zebrex. Delhi, Haryana, Delhi. Second, Seaside Hotel, Mumbai to Shine Limited, Haryana. Now, let me explain you this with the amendment. Look at this. They're saying sale of space on hoarding for advertising. They're saying if the owner of hoardings is giving the hoardings to somebody, it will be considered under which section for place of supply? 12 subsection 3. They're saying the hoardings will be treated as an immovable property. Giving it to a person who's going to rent it for a very long time would be considered to be a service in relation to immovable property, and place of supply would be the location of the hoardings. However, an advertising company providing the services to a customer after getting the hoardings for so many months, they are providing services to a customer will be coming under general provision. It's an advertisement service. Service provided by vendor to advertisement company by way of hoarding or structure erected to advertise will be coming under 12 subsection 2. What will be the place of supply? If it is B2B, it will be location of recipient. Understanding? So, by this you can apply the same provision to our question and say that Shine Limited to Zebrex would come under general provision 12 subsection 2. Place of supply would be Delhi, and it will become what supply? Interstate supply. Location of supplier Haryana, place of supply in Delhi. However, wherein the owner of the hoardings giving it to Shine Limited would become 12 subsection 3, place of supply would be location of immovable property being the hoardings, that is Mumbai. Location of supplier, place of supply, both are in Mumbai, it will become what supply? Intrastate supply. That's the question they are asking you to address. But you need to write this whole provision there. That's the point. We have 3 more questions in 2 customs, but it's the same repeated questions. But unfortunately, I will have to, call off our discussion for the day because I have to travel back. But I'll do one thing. I wanted to complete anyway the RTP fully. So I'll put this on, another Zoom session, whatever balance, maybe half an hour, sometimes in the evening. I will ask Ace to give you guys the link. If you guys want to join for customs also, I'll give you the thing. I wanted to satisfy myself that, okay, I've done full, so that I can put it on YouTube also in terms of the whole discussion.